Hi, I'm Susan Winter for SusanWinter.net. When an older woman is with a younger man, one thing that she can count on is that there will be some form of criticism. I really wish I could tell you that it's no longer happening, but depending upon where you live and in what community and in what part of the world, you may hear somebody who chooses to speak out of line and insert themselves in your business in a negative manner. You know, when I was first cutting my teeth on how to handle this, there were no guidebooks. I was all by myself, and I took everything very personally, and I wasn't good at responding. So let's review the two kinds of criticism that are going to happen. The first is internal, and the second is external. So when you're with a younger guy, as the older woman, you're going to hear your head. Your head is going to be a critic. Your head will tell you from time to time, God, I'm older. What does he see in me? Oh, she's so beautiful, his coworker. I can't believe that he doesn't have a crush on her. You're going to hear all sorts of programming. Centuries of nonsense have been pushed into your mind that tell you that you are not worth as much because you don't have youth and beauty. And that is going to be the bulk of your inner work. Whenever you hear one of these comments come in, you have got to have self-talk that's lined up, pre-programmed, that knocks it out. So for every one internal line that you hear that degrades you, you've got to come back at it full force with 3 or 4 statements. I know my worth. We have love that goes beyond age. You've got to come back and talk to your mind until those autoresponders to external programming die down. You can do it. It's a matter of discipline. And whether you know it or not, your guy has it too. He may not tell you, but there are times that he feels like he's not enough for you. He may look at you talking to a colleague, a very successful man who has all the toys and trappings and success that he hasn't had the time to acquire. And he may think, why is she with me? She could be with that guy. He's so rich, he's so powerful. He has his insecurities too, and he may or may not tell you. But the job both of you have to do is to silence that inner critic. Now, for the outer world. In reviewing this, and believe me, I've had decades to handle it, the best way to handle any kind of criticism is to be prepared for it in advance and to make sure that it's not a defensive response on your end. Meaning, I used to justify, try and explain, defend my position philosophically, and it was uncalled for. I mean, if some girl in the mall sees me holding hands with my guy and says, "Are you his mother?" I don't need to respond to her. I learned in time that the best responses are pre-planned because you're going to hear about 4 or 5 things continually. They're said in different ways. Are you his mother? Is he your boy toy? Something like that. So I suggest that what you and your guy do is have a fun date night at home. Sit down and write out everything that you have heard somebody say to you or that you've heard somebody say about you. Take a look at those comments, and between the two of you, do some creative brainstorming. Come up with some great quips. Come up with the sassiest, most confident, devil-may-care slapback that you can find. I started saying, when people said to me, and only the young girls his age that wanted him would say, "Are you his mother?" I said, "Oh, no, I'm his lover. His mother is much younger." And if you don't let it bother you by having a humorous kind of a slapback in your response and you let it go, they have nowhere to attack you. You see, what they're looking for is what interviewers use, that technique where they keep poking until they find the soft spot, then they drill away till they can undo you. Listen, there are ill-bred people. I don't know how else to say it. It's nobody's business. If you see a hot-looking woman with an old, fat, bald, unattractive guy who's slovenly, you don't walk up to that couple and say, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Are you with him for his money?" You'd never do that. And yet, I don't know what possesses people to think they have the right to come up to an older woman and make some comment about her that's degrading. Somehow they think that's okay. Less of it is happening now, but do this work and prepare in advance, because the best way to handle the critic, whether it's internal or external, is to know what's going to be said and head it off at the pass. Manage the thoughts in your mind. Know the truth of why your younger man is with you, that the love you have goes beyond age. Its resonance, its connection has nothing to do. Age is not important. It's the totality of who you are. And really hear your mind slapping those comments back, and do the same work when you're in the outer world. It's actually kind of fun. I wish I had done this at the time. I didn't know these techniques, but now I can share them with you. Just do the prep work. Prepare the lines that you're going to say, and then get really good at it. It's like having an act, because this kind of behavior that's done by other people is completely uncalled for. So it's way off the game board of correct rules of behavior, because they started with incorrect rules of behavior. Have fun with it. Don't let them bother you, because if you feel uncomfortable or defensive when they say something, they're going to keep going after you. Have a sense of humor, blow it off, have a line prepared, and then focus on what you do have with your guy. Focus on the love that is so incredible. Thanks a lot. Susan Winter for SusanWinter.net.